Good afternoon, and once again, welcome to Boston University. My name is John Hauser.
My name is Michelle Jurgen.
My name is Andrew Burwash.
My name is Lisa, and I'll be your tour guide for today.
I'm majoring in International Relations in the Pardee School of Global Studies and in French Studies in the College of Arts and Sciences, and I'm originally from Cheshire, Connecticut.
Currently a sophomore in the College of Arts and Sciences, majoring in neuroscience and minoring in speech, language, and hearing sciences at Sargent College.
I'm an international student from Russia, currently studying communications and cultural communications and minoring in Spanish and College of Arts and Sciences.
I'm a senior in our College of Arts and Sciences, studying chemistry and double minoring in math and biology, and I'm originally from Ottawa, Canada. We're going to start heading right this way. So our tour today is going to be about an hour and 10 minutes long. I'm going to show you a lot of the main academic buildings on campus. We're going to see a sample dorm room, peek through the windows of one of our dining halls, and I'm going to try to give you a bit of that student life perspective here at BU. I do have a couple quick favors to ask of all of you while we're on tour. First of all, I'm going to be walking backwards for pretty much the whole tour. So if you see me going through a tree or a car or a train, anything like that, please let me know before I crash. Otherwise, it's going to be very embarrassing for all of us, specifically for me. The other favor, obviously, is if you have any questions while we're on tour, definitely do ask away. That's really what I'm here for, why you don't just have a campus map. So we're going to start this way right towards the BU Beach, our Boston University beach. And let's see if anyone can guess why we call this area the BU Beach. Any guesses?
Has there sand?
There isn't actually any sand, fun fact.
Because the river.
Because the river is definitely part of it. And then there's the cheesy part. It's said that the cars driving along Storrow Drive between us and the Charles River kind of sound like waves crashing on the shore of a beach. Maybe if you try really hard, really put your mind to it. But in all seriousness, you'll see as we get a little bit closer, this really is a great green space to have right in the center of our campus. It does become our urban quad here at BU, and so you'll see students out here studying, throwing a frisbee around, just enjoying the sunshine. In the fall semester, our Dean of Students office always does a drive-in movie night where they put a big screen up at the one end. We bring towels, we bring cookies, other way around, and we get to have that movie night right here on the center of campus on the BU Beach. Any questions as we arrive on this green space?
Right now, as we leave the BU Beach, you'll see right across the Charles River a yellow boathouse over there. That's actually our Boston University boathouse that our rowing teams here at BU use. Here at BU, we have such a wide range of sports available to students to play. For example, my favorite sport is playing on the Quidditch team here at BU, where I actually do run around on a broomstick and try to catch the golden snitch. I'm essentially the Harry Potter of BU, and even though I don't have a scar on my forehead, I do have a scar on my nose, so I like to say that is close enough. However, if a fake sport is not for you, we do have real sports here at BU, ranging all the way from the varsity level, all the way down to our intramural and club levels. So who wants to guess our best sport here at BU?
Football.
No, unfortunately, we do not have a football team here at BU. But our best sport here at BU is actually our hockey team. They are a D1 hockey team playing in the Gaines Arena in the western portion of campus, and they're so much fun to go to those games. You can go to those games, sit in the crowd, maybe make some inappropriate
Watch out
cheering
for the
with
tree.
your friends. Thanks, Rob. And really just have fun at those sports games. And when you want to be part of an intramural sport, that's a great opportunity for you to get together with some friends and do a sport maybe played in high school or trying something new. For example, one sport that most high school students don't play is broomball. So you actually get to go on the ice in just your sneakers and a helmet and try to push a ball into the net using a broom. Sounds like a totally crazy game, but it's actually lots of fun just to get together with friends and really enjoy your time here. Of course, if organized sports are not for you, we do have so many athletic options for you here at Boston University. Running right alongside our campus all the way downtown is the Esplanade, which is a huge green park where if you're a runner like me, you can run all the way downtown and have a really nice time, go on a picnic, etc. Or you can go to our fitness and recreation center in the western portion of campus and go lift some weights, go on this indoor track, or find something else to do. For example, my friend Max played tennis in high school, and our freshman and sophomore year, we used to take his tennis rackets down to the racquetball courts in FitRec and make up the rules to racquetball. Because we actually don't know how to play. As a college student, you learn how to improvise and have lots of fun with it. Of course, there are many options for clubs here at BU other than sports, and our biggest place to find those clubs is right here at our George Sherman Union, which we're about to go into. Our first stop in the George Sherman Union will be the Mugar Memorial Library, so we'll be turning off my amp, so please follow me in quietly.
So right
right now we are in our Mugar Memorial Library, but before I talk a little bit about the library in general, I want to talk about what's in these display cases all around us. And this is what's known as our Howard Gottlieb Archival Research Center. It's probably the most valuable resource on our campus for students. It's a whole set of archives, over 2,000 different collections that our students have complete access to. So these aren't just archives that are locked away in the basement somewhere just so we can say we have them, but they're archives that students can use as part of their research, as part of their coursework, or just for interest. And we have some really neat collections. For example, for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., we actually have the second largest collection outside of his personal family from when he studied in our School of Theology. We have over 80,000 items in that collection. We have archives from Elie Wiesel, including a chapter 0 of his book Night. We have Julia Child's mixing bowl, Leonard Nimoy's Spock ears, our case of bling with Oscars, Tonys, Emmys, Grammys, any sort of award of that nature. So we have all of these archives here for our students to use. That is housed within our Mugar Memorial Library, where we're standing right now. This is our largest library on campus, one of 23 different libraries. So Mugar actually gets quieter as you go up, so on this floor we can talk a little bit about those 5th and 6th floors. It's completely silent study. You could hear a pin drop up there. The other 22 libraries on campus tend to be smaller, more field-specific libraries, places like our Science and Engineering Library, our Party Management Library, our Pickering Children's Literature Library, all scattered throughout our campus with specific resources and research assistants there to help you out. Our libraries have extremely long hours on campus. Mugar is actually open from 7 a.m. until 2 a.m. most days of the school year, becoming 24 hours a day for finals week, so you can study whenever you want to during that period. And if you're not feeling like coming to the library on a particular day, we have a ton of other study spaces on our campus for students to go to. My personal favorite is in our Student Village residence in our western portion of campus. It's a 26-story high-rise apartment-style residence where the 26th floor is a completely glass study lounge. I maintain it has the best view of the city of Boston. If you remember that view from the back of your information session, that photo was actually taken from that study lounge. So it's a pretty neat spot for students to be able to go and study right on our campus.
So we just came out of the Mugar Memorial Library, and now we're going to walk through part of our George Sherman Union. The first part being our Union Court here, one of the food courts here on campus. It's a very popular place for students to eat. It is a little noisy here today, so we're just going to take a quick walk through, and then I'll talk to you a bit more about the building outside. So as I said before, we just finished walking through our George Sherman Union, which is the center of student life here on campus. We have this food court we just saw, where there are plenty of dining options for you to get during your day here or night here, ranging from Panda Express if you're craving some unhealthy Chinese food, to a nice healthy salad from Loose Leaf Salads. Of course, there are things other than food in this building. On the 3rd floor, we have our Community Service Center. Who here likes doing community service? Woo! Everybody's hands should be in the air because community service is a great way to give back to your community. One of my favorite programs we have here through our Community Service Center is our first year student outreach project, which is right here on my shirt. So our first year student outreach project, for an incoming freshman, we had to come to Boston University a week early and do community service in the city of Boston with upperclassmen staff leaders. These upperclassmen staff leaders are really here to help you get used to the university, used to the city of Boston, and also give back to a community that you live here for your entire time here at BU. Of course, there are things other than community service that you can do here. In the basement, we have a spot called BU Central, where different a cappella groups and improv groups love to perform and really get to know the area. There's also a Howard Thurman Center. You can really go there and have different activities to really get you to understand our society better as a whole. You can attend our coffee and conversations, where you can go in, grab a cup of coffee, and really just talk about the issues of the day. Of course, here at BU, you can just find many of our student activities here, or at the first week of school, we have a huge celebration called Splash. So in the western portion of campus, we have this huge field called Nickerson Field, where on one Saturday at the end of the year, all the clubs go on down, have a table, and try to recruit students. That's actually how I found the Quidditch team my freshman year. You want to see them running around, handing out flyers, and really get involved here at BU.
So right now we're standing in the central portion of campus, so that way is Eastern Campus, Southern Campus, and Western Campus. So the reason I had you guys stand around this seal today is because this is our little superstition here at Boston University. So it's said that if you stand on the seal, you unfortunately will not graduate in 4 years. So I always like to say far, far away. Also behind us is Marsh Chapel, so even though Boston University is non-denominational, the School of Theology was our first school here on campus, so we do offer resources for all students to find places of worship here on campus other than Marsh Chapel. So I mentioned earlier we have our Hillel House and also the Catholic Center, but you can always come to Marsh Chapel for other resources, for other places of worship. Also, if you look behind you, you'll see a lovely statue that's honoring Martin Luther King Jr. So Martin Luther King Jr. is one of our most notable alumni here on campus. The statue behind you is comprised of 50 doves, one for each state. It said that once world peace is accomplished, all 50 doves will fly away. So right now, we're going to head right into CAS, so follow me this way. Come on in. Right now we're walking through the halls of CAS, College of Arts and Sciences. This is our largest school here on campus. So CAS houses over 80 majors, so basically anything you could think of. So as I mentioned earlier, a major is neuroscience, and here within CAS it also houses majors such as biology, chemistry, English, basically anything that you could think of. So right now we're passing CAS Think Tank, which is one of our newest study spots here on campus. It's a great place for collaboration. I always like to come here and sit in the private rooms to work with my groups on research projects and different things that we have to do. We're also right now passing the office of the dean. So Dean Ann Cudd is the dean of CAS, and she's always accessible to students if you ever want to talk to her. As we're walking, you'll definitely see a lot of posters for different student groups, different initiatives here within CAS. So we actually just passed a box with different student publications. So I work on the Nerve magazine here, which is the neuroscience publication. Some of our past issues are in there, so you can definitely see a lot of the different student publications here on campus. Some of the requirements for students here within CAS are 2 years of a language. So the language I'm taking is Swahili, but you can take many different languages here on campus. So things like Spanish and French, Mandarin, American Sign Language, anything that you could think of as well. You're also required to take 2 semesters of a writing course. So my first writing course that I took was Women in the Non-West, so I got to really explore what the lives are of women in the Non-West and get a chance to escape my regular scientific writing and have a chance to really explore current events throughout the world, which was super interesting. You're also required to take 2 semesters of humanities and 2 semesters of social sciences. So the first humanities course that I'm getting to take, which I'm going to be taking next semester, is linguistics. I'm super excited about that because it gives me a chance to take a course that isn't required for my minor, but will really contribute to my minor as well, but it's here within CAS. We're also coming up on the core curriculum office, so core is really an option for students who want to take a more liberal arts approach to their education here at BU. So one of my friends that's in core, she's an English major, and she really explained it to me as a chance for her to really delve deeper into some classic literary texts that she maybe hadn't had the chance to explore a lot deeper while she was here at BU. As a student here at Boston University, any student can study abroad. Some of the programs that we have are in Spain, France. I have 2 friends that are in France right now. They seem like they're having the times of their lives. Australia, New Zealand, China, and Antarctica. So the Antarctica program specifically, students have the chance to explore the effects of global warming and various things going on, and then also take that information back to students in the School of Education and let them know various things that they should be teaching their students, which is pretty amazing.
All right, so now we're going to talk about housing on campus. Housing at BU is guaranteed all 4 years, which is really unique for a city school because we are in a city and housing can be expensive. So knowing that you're not going to get kicked off campus is a huge plus and one of the reasons why I chose BU. I have lived on campus all 4 years, and I am just like 85% of our students who also do the same. My housing experience has been incredible. Freshman year, I started in Boren Towers, where I met my roommate who I had until this past year when we both went abroad. And we were random roommates, and it was great. We got along super well, and we ended up living together for the next 3 years. I also met so many of the friends that I still have today on my floor freshman year. And we had a great common room, a great resident assistant who would always plan events for us to help us get to know each other and get to know the city of Boston. My second year, I lived in a residence in the western portion of campus where I had a room shared with one other person, and it was a suite. So we had 2 other rooms in our suite, and we had a shared bathroom. There are all kinds of different housing options on campus, so you can have that traditional dorm experience, or you can live in an on-campus apartment, which is where I'm living right now. This year, I live in Student Village 1 in our western portion of campus, and I live on the 17th floor, and I have an incredible view of the city and the Charles River. I wake up every morning looking at rowers on the Charles, and when my mom was moving me in, she said, "This is probably going to be the nicest dorm you ever live in your life," and I definitely agree with her there. So I have absolutely loved my on-campus housing experience, and there are so many different options for students, and I think that's what makes it so unique, even within such a big city. So we're going to go into a dorm room right now, and you're going to see what a typical freshman-style dorm might look like, but there is no such thing as a freshman dorm at BU. Freshmen are permitted to live almost anywhere on campus, with the exception of those on-campus apartments in our western portion of campus that I mentioned earlier. And we're going to head right upstairs and see the room, but we're not going to stop up there because there are a lot of other tours going on, so we're just going to look around and then come back down here, and you can ask any questions that you have when we get here. Great, let's go. So we're going to be going to the second floor. If you need to use the elevator, you can do so. Otherwise, you can follow me up the stairs. So you can feel free to step in, look around, and then meet me back out here. All right, we're going to head back downstairs. Does anyone have any questions about housing?
So right now we'll be going inside one of our 3 dining halls on campus. As we go inside, please make sure to look to your right. There'll be a menu of all our dishes of the day. As we go inside, please make sure that you don't take any food. It's for students, you know, although it's lunchtime and you're really hungry, just don't take food. Dining meal options, because when you come to BU and you become a freshman, you have to stay on campus during your first semester, and you're also required to have a meal plan during your first 2 semesters. So there are 2 different ways how you can pay for your food, and you do both of them with your student ID. So you can do a dining hall swipe, or also you can use your dining points. So a dining hall swipe means when you go into the dining hall, you just swipe your ID and you can go in and eat as much food as you want and stay there the whole day, you know, it's all yours, but you can't take any out. Dining points is another option, which is where you have normal money put your card, and usually when you go into the Union Court and you see the prices on the meals, then you can just purchase them the normal money. Also, as we're standing right outside of the Yorkie Center for Student Services, I would like you to pay attention to this building. We have 6 different floors, and we have a lot of different services offered there. So one of them is academic advising on the 4th floor. Obviously, all colleges have academic advising offices in them. However, this is the main office. If you're completely lost, don't know what you're doing, this is the place to go. And also on the 5th floor, we have the Career Development Center, which is where students can make appointments and come discuss their, you know, resumes and cover letters and just ask advice of the professionals. Also, a fun fact, when you graduate from BU and become BU alumni, you can contact the Career Development Service after 5 years from graduation, 10 years, and say like, oh, can you help me find an internship? Can you help me find a job? And they will actually help you. So this is how I found my summer internship for the previous summer. I just went to Career Development Service. I told them what I was interested in, you know, and they were really helpful at finding the place for me. Also on the 6th floor, we have the Education Resource Center, which is where I work. So we have a lot of different programs offered for there. There is the tutoring program where students who got an A or like became top of the class can tutor you for the class that they took previously. Also, we have the language link, which is where I mentioned I work, and this is where native speakers of foreign languages can come and they just practice conversational skills in our language. So I'm Russian and I teach Russian, so students come to me and, you know, we just like speak about like general topics and really help them to practice their conversational skills. It's really useful if you want to go study abroad, or, you know, you just really want to like get better at the language. I always use that program myself because I'm minoring in Spanish and I really want to, you know, become fluent in that language, so it's really useful for me. And this is actually the last of our tour, so I would like to say thank you very much for following me on this tour. And I would like to sum up by saying a few things why I chose to come to BU. So as you have seen, we have so many different pre-professional schools on campus, and this is what I fell in love with when I came to BU. I wanted to go to not only a diverse school because of the cultural backgrounds, you know, and ethnicities and things like this. I also wanted to have like friends who would be crazy engineers and actors on Broadways and things like this. I really wanted to be in as diverse community as possible. well. And also I came as a declared major in College of Arts and Sciences, and I had no idea what I wanted to do. However, I was in between things like psychology and Spanish, and I like to do something with people, but I also want to do something creative. So being able to go to a school with like different professional schools, I learned more about myself and from my friends. And right now I'm studying in advertising and College of Communication, which is perfect because in advertising we do use a lot of like psychological theories. You know, there's a lot of interaction with people. So this is how I discovered myself at BU. Thank you very much for the day. I hope you will enjoy the rest of your day in Boston on this sunny day.